everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at that remarkably cool Playbeat 3. So Playbeat 3, brand new instrument, not to be confused with Playbeat 2. This is a complete rebuild. Okay, so it's awesome, right? You can do so much cool stuff with this now. I'm going to take you through the whole app in some detail. I'm going to cover absolutely everything so you'll know if it's something that you'd like to buy. I'm sure it will be for most people. It's just it's super great fun. Before we get started, I'd just like to say hello to everyone who's here in the chat. Hi Colin, hi Stephen, hello Joe, hi Russ, hi Wall, and anyone else who may be watching. Yeah, brilliant. If you're watching and you like the video, please strike the like, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and consider becoming a patron, even if it's just for Christmas. Okay, so here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a completely blank canvas. So it comes with loads and loads and loads of samples and presets and stuff like that. If we enter this part here, the top, we get to our where we can control our samples, our packs, our presets, etc. I'm going to explain all this in detail. You can build your own cool packs. You can even sell them if you want to, export them, do what you want. You can import your own samples. It's easy peasy. What we're going to do is when you load it up, it defaults to this one called zero state, and zero state is completely right. So we're going to double tap it. Zero state is empty, and it defaults to 16 steps. You can have up to 16 or 32 steps, and anywhere in between those. I mean anywhere. So you could go full 32 or here. Or you can move this ruler here, so you're just running these steps here. So you have complete control over the amount of steps from 16 to 32 and anywhere in between. We're going to stick with 16, okay? And we're going to go from left to right across the actual interface so you can see what's going on. So first thing we want to do is you'll see it says all here. We have 8 channels now, 8 sample slots if you like. 8 tracks. You can call them whatever you like. I'm going to select track 1. And when I select track 1, here I can import a new sample. Now I can also do this from here as well, but I'll show you on this main screen first, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to tap this, and it's going to take us back into our sample page. Now we were originally on presets and packs. Now we're on samples. This is a sample I imported earlier. I'm going to go with factory samples. You'll see there's a little folder that says factory samples. And these are all the factory samples that you get. And there's lots of them to start with. And you can then open this up and choose from kicks, snares, hats, pick. You can make your own folders as well. You can on the desktop. I'm not sure about on iOS yet. But anyway, you can still import your own. So we're going to choose kicks. And we can audition the kick. And when we've auditioned a kick like this, for instance, this one, we can, all we need to do is literally just drag it onto our first slot here, or wherever we like. We can drag it, you know, into other places. And there we have our kick, and we're going to put a 4 on the floor in to start with. Okay. Now we're going to go to pitch because I want to pitch that down a little bit. So you'll see here it says fixed or this minimum maximum, and at the moment it's on minimum and maximum. We're going to set it up to fixed, and I'm just going to drop this down a little bit maybe to this. So that means that all of these are going to be on that particular pitch. Okay, if we go over here, we can randomize the pitch between F2 and G3, and to randomize the pitch, all we need to do is hit. And it's going to randomize between those. Let's do an undo and go back to fixed pitch, okay? So let's go back to our mixer view. You get a mixer, and on the mixer you can mute and solo. You won't hear any difference yet, okay? So, you know, we can come off mixer and let's go back to our steps view. Along the top here you can, on the end of the steps, you can lock that step. That means that whatever you do randomization wise will not be affecting channel 1. Okay, you can erase it and put the steps back in, or you can hit undo. Okay, what's also very cool is anything that we're selected on, this is what's going to be randomized. Okay, so at the moment we're not selected on all, we're only selected on one. So if I hit the big randomization button in the middle, it's going to randomize that kick. Let's go back. Okay, above the randomization button are 2 other controls. I'll get into those in a little bit when I've added some more stuff in. So we've got a kick in there. Along the top here is each of these controls here are for each of the samples. They're independent. Okay, so if we go into sample edit, we're just going to be editing the sample, that kick sample. Okay, so we can also have a fade out, a fade in. We can set the start, and then we can reset. Okay, let's go back to our steps. The next one along is the resolution. So you've got all this control over resolution. Let's take them out. And that resolution is independent for every single track as well. You have a shuffle. You're not going to really hear that until I put some hi-hats in, but the shuffle is also independent for every single track as well. And also, this is independent for every single track also as well. So already you must be being able to see that this is super vastly powerful for when you start to build up your own kits and patterns and stuff like that. Next one along after, right, I also will explain that the little 3 dots next to the steps are going to randomize just the steps. If we go to density is kind of like ratcheting. This little control here, you'll see that these bottom controls, they will change per effect, if you like. So if we go on to density, you see the effect will change. If we have it on fixed, so you've got fixed here, and then you've got like a variation. The density is like a ratchet. So you'll hear now that we have a fixed density, right, on affecting just one step. It's hard to explain, right? But if it's just going to affect one step, it might affect any of those steps in the 16 steps, okay? But you'll see it's affected the first one, so it'll ratchet 3 times. If we have a fixed value of, say, 4, it'll change to 4. If we have a fixed, it'll random more, see? Okay, so that's that. So let's just reset all this down to 1. Cool. All right. And if we move along now to like the randomization part, so this is fixed, don't forget. Then we've got randomization. We can set the amount it's going to randomize. So it'll between 4 and say, well, 8 is the maximum we can have. So let's go with 2. So 2 like kind of density controls with a maximum of 8 density controls. And then if we just randomize that, we'll select an amount here of, say, let's go all 16 steps. So we're going to get randomization on everything. So 16 steps is chosen. Fixed is 4. We're not using fixed. We're using a minimum between 2 and 8. And we're on this. So let's just hit the density randomization, which is the 3 little dots next to density. And you'll see that each one of those is now randomized to a different value. We can do it again. Let's go with a fixed value of 1. Pitch is kind of self-explanatory. It will adjust the pitch of each of the steps, and again you can have a fixed pitch or you can have the randomization pitch. So if we go quite high here, maybe we can randomize it with this, but this randomizes everything. So I'm just going to be randomizing the pitch, and there's the effect. This is very cool if you're using bass sequences and stuff like that. So, but let's go to fixed, and it'll take it back to where it was. I'll get into lock and reset in a minute. Like I can show you reset now. So if we kind of randomize the pitch, we can just reset it to its original value. And then we'll go back to our fixed value, which I set at G sharp. Lock is something different. I will show you that in a minute. Okay, so that's basically your pitch. Then you have flam. Flam is measured in milliseconds. Okay, so we can go anywhere from up there to, I think it's 120 milliseconds from 0. We've got a fixed value of 30. Or we can randomize the flam from 0 to 120. But if I will just set a few different values on these, and you'll hear the effect. But it's just like a quick hit. It's one hit after another hit, measured in milliseconds. I'll just reset that to 0. Volume, again, is kind of self-explanatory. You can control the volume of each hit from 0 to 127. And pan, also, again, you can set, like this is nice on hi-hats. So if you're listening through headphones, you'll hear that now. I'm going to reset that now. Okay. So we can go back to steps. I've covered some of the things right now. We need to add another instrument in, so we're going to go to number 2. We'll add some let's add some hats in here. I'm just going to drag it onto this, so that's added it to our thing. So what we can do now is add some hats in. You kind of get this now, right? Cool. We'll go to a third one and add some snare. Go on this. We'll go to our snares. Just going to drag that one onto the third one, and now we can add some snare in. Okay, now all those randomization features you can do for each of these that I've just showed you across here. So, or you can go for all of them and randomize everything. So that's how you build your patterns. Or we'll just leave it on those 3 for now, because there's some stuff I want to show you on this as well, on for 3. So this button here, right, if we hit this one next to the actual resolution, sorry, I'll go back to steps. This brings up the remix pads and also the sample trigger. Now, we've only got 3 samples loaded. And this means that you can play it like a... you know, if you've got a MIDI controller, you can map these to that. And as we populate more up to the 8, these will fill up. The remix pads, what it will do is if we go autofill remix, this first one here will be the pattern. And then what it will do over the rest of them, the algorithm has now decided to remix what we've already got. And then back. Or we can just clear them and go back. Now, like all Playbeat apps, you can, now you see what it's done there, because on the remix pads it's added other stuff in, and it's set right. We can go back there. It's added other bits in, but there's no samples there, so it's unnecessary. Do you know what I mean, at the moment? So let's play that. Next to this is a complete reset. Okay, that little button is total reset, so we can just undo that and get our pattern back. So we're basically back onto our thing. Now I can show you the shuffle. Let's go to the hi-hat pattern, and we're only on the hi-hat pattern. We can just shuffle the hi-hats, and this is where you'll get an idea of the other cool stuff you can do. We can just set the length of the hi-hats, anywhere we like, and we can also just set the resolution of the hi-hats anywhere we like. I'll set that back to 116. The next button is shift. That will shift the pattern either to the left or the right. Until it gets back. And now I'm going to show you the lock feature. Okay, so if we turn lock on, what will happen is if any of these buttons we press now, they will lock. So even when I randomize the pattern, they will stay exactly the same. And if we go to all, right, those are still going to stay the same. Okay, let's go back to there, and we can reset our locks just by tapping, and that just resets the locks. Okay, which is very cool. Now here's another cool thing as well. Let's add some more hi-hats in. We can lock the entire lane, so even when we randomize, it's just going to keep them. It's not going to change any parameter at all on those. Now, the big randomize button will randomize everything. That's why it's filling in stuff that's not even got a sample attached to it. So if you had samples attached to it, it will just literally, it will fill the whole thing and it will just change. This one just to the above to the right of it, what that will do, it's like a latch button. It will randomize the pattern like this. But only while you're holding it. This one next to it will do subtle variation of the patterns of the steps that are already there. So it won't try to add more steps. It'll just vary those steps that are there. So it'll be like this. but that'll be a permanent feature. Okay, now when I showed you steps, density, pitch, flam, volume, pan, you know that those are the effects that you can apply to each of the individual steps, depending on as well if you have this selected. Also, next to the complete undo is a lock button here. So for instance, if we lock steps on one, every time we hit the random button, those steps are not gonna, none of the steps are gonna change, okay, but everything else will randomize. See, we've randomized pitch and all sorts of stuff, but not the steps. The steps is locked for everything, regardless of whatever you're on here. You can lock your individual patterns, you know that, I've showed you. But if we take the actual lock off, go to pitch, and we'll go fixed pitch, right? And we'll go fixed pitch on everything. And we lock pitch. Everything else will change bar the pitch. So for whatever effect you've selected, you can lock that effect for everything. Okay, so you have a lot of control. Next to here, we have the disintegration mode. Okay, so this is very cool. If you remember it in, I think it's Gate Lab, they introduced this disintegration control, but this is really nice. Let's go to steps. What happens if I turn disintegration mode? It will switch the infinity control on and set it at 4. The minimum you can have is it disintegrates over 4 bars. So what we can do here is have this set, leave it at 1. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be automatically set at 4 once I hit disintegration. But then I can have it disintegrate over more than 4 bars, but we'll leave it set over 4. And what this will do is it'll just take away everything in this kit until there's nothing left, and it'll do it over 4 bars like this. Okay, so that's gone, and then we can just undo it and get our thing back. What's really cool about this, right, is, and I haven't seen anyone do this, but I was thinking about this today and I tried it out and it worked. This is super. This is really cool stuff, right? Looking at the steps. So the disintegration mode is works for steps. It doesn't worry about density, pitch, or flam. So we don't need to worry about any of those while we're doing what I'm going to do now. What we're going to do is, let's do this. Let's fill all of these slots in like this, so that over the course of 4 bars, if we hit disintegration mode, now disintegration, all those would disappear. But then I was thinking, okay, well that's cool, but what if I selected steps, then selected lock, and then just selected this one, this one, this one, this one, and then there's the hi-hats. I go with this, and this, and then the snare back to normal. I was thinking theoretically it should go from this chaotic thing, disintegrate down, and then just be left with our beat, and you know, it worked, right? So this is what happens. So imagine if you've got a completely full, and you've got really chaos going on, and you want to disintegrate it over your 4 bars. This is a very cool way to do it. It's a very cool effect. And now we're just back with our original pattern, and we can then just reset our unlocks and start again, like. And that's great fun. It's great fun. Now, I want to show you something else as well. So we've looked at like your different effects, and they have different controls at the bottom for variations or fixed length and stuff like this. Right, here's the thing. I'm going to do this, right? Notice, right, that at the moment there are steps on that repeat themselves on each over these 3 channels, right? So, and if I randomize the whole thing, so not worrying about like anything being locked, I'm just going to randomize the complete thing. You'll see that there are also, every now and then there is like a step on there and a step on there, step on there, step on there, step on there. Steps are doubled up. They overlap each other on the actual grid, right? This is cool. So maybe you want to have set choke groups up and stuff like that. So if we go into settings, here's where you can do all your MIDI CC mappings and stuff like this, etc., etc. But you see this where it says linear group over this. Whatever you set here will act like a choke group, but not like the kind of choke group you think. What it will do, it will prevent a step being repeated in the same place on another channel. Okay, and the easiest way to show you this is if I turn all of these on, right, and then we go back to we'll go back to our sequence. When I randomize now, you'll see that nothing will be repeated over these steps. So we'll randomize, and you'll see everything is on a completely different step. Now, you would not maybe want to do that over the whole thing, but you can select groups where you may not want kicks to be on with snares. Okay, so we can go back into there, and then we can, we can switch them all back off, and then the effect would be randomize. It will just randomize normally. Okay, so let's take these out. Just want to show you something else as well. Now, I should have mentioned this. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to set up a bunch of stuff here. And disintegration mode also responds to what's locked here as well. So if I just wanted to disintegrate, say, the kick and the snare, I would lock this entire channel and this entire channel, go into disintegration mode, press play, and the hi-hats are going to stay exact. Oh, no, the kick and the snare will stay the same, sorry. So it's very good. So you can use this integration mode. It doesn't need to actually completely get lost in the, it doesn't need to take everything out. If you think about it, whatever you lock in isn't going to go away. It's just gonna stay where it is, which makes that really cool. Okay, so let's see what we still need to go. Right, okay, infinity mode. Let's switch infinity mode on and let's set this to 1. Okay, and what will happen now is every time this passes, it's going to randomize the pattern. Except if it's locked. If we take the locks off the channels, okay, so you get a basic understanding of how it works. Where this is really great. We're going to our now. If I like that, right, I can save it. But I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to reset 0 state. But I'm going to maybe go with one of the actual. In fact, actually, no. I'll show you something else. I'll show you about importing your own samples. That would be more logical as well. And then I'll show you how to make a pack. Packs are brilliant. It's genius. This is the way they've done this is absolutely genius. So you see, we're in presets and packs, and we can go into samples. Let's do this. user samples. And what we're going to do is, you'll see that down here there's nothing there. We're in 0 state again, and I didn't bother saving our other one as a preset. So these are your presets, right? Where it says factory samples, if we go to presets, factory preset, these are presets. These you can load into the preset slots. You can choose to load either the sounds or the pattern. For instance, this, if we open this there like that, you can see what samples have been used in this actual preset, and you can highlight them. So say we like that kick, right? We can take that kick out of that preset, pick it up and drag it onto there if we want to. Okay, we can load the pattern. So if we go like load pattern, or double tap on it, but we'll go load pattern, and it says factory preset number 5. Okay, I haven't loaded the sounds, just the pattern, right? So if I go back in again and I double tap on it, it loads the sounds as well. So I'll do that again just so you're clear. If I highlight one like this, and I go, okay, I'm going to open this here, I can either load pattern or load the sounds, or double tap on a preset to load both the pattern and the sounds, right? And you'll see that there's 2 blank slots there that haven't been actually used, but you can load your own preset, your own sample in there if you like. But anyway, so for instance, okay, so we'll load both, and there is the pattern and the sounds. Okay, and we say, well, that's a great pattern, right? You know, let's go and look at, say, this one. Okay, say, well, maybe I like the sounds in that one better. Open this up and just go load sounds, and now you've got the sounds, the pattern from the other one, but the sounds from this new one. Okay, so let's just go back to 0 state, and I have got no user in my other iPad. I've got tons of user presets now, but I haven't with this because I wanted it to be clean. We can go to user presets or factory presets, doesn't matter. Like I've said, you can choose from any of the sounds included, or even the samples. You could go to samples and you could go factory samples, and you can drag and drop these on there, or you can go to presets and packs and you can open them and drop their samples on there like that. Okay, like that. Or we can go here, tap on here, and we can import samples now. Anything we like, we can go to, say, I don't know what Dean's Devious or Dirty Tube Drums say, and we can open this, and we've got one shots here, and there's clap. So we could choose that clap, and that's going to put that clap onto there. And then we could go, well, oh, maybe I want this kick from there on that one or this one. So I've got the clap and the kick there. Okay, I'm gonna go maybe another one. So I don't know, maybe a kick from Dean's. So we could go to another slot now, maybe go and find some percussion. We'll add a snare. So now we've got a snare, and we've got 3 blank slots, right? So what we've now done is we've made a new kit. So if we go back to our 0 state now, let's go save, and we're going to save this as a new preset. So let's save this as, I don't know, the pool, for instance, as from want of a better word. So we'll go save, and if we open it, what we can do now is, there's our user presets. Go back to factory presets. Let's load a completely blank one, a completely new one. stop that, go back and go to user presets, double tap and load the pool, and there's nothing there because we haven't programmed anything in. However, we could just start adding stuff in now. Maybe, I don't know, what did we put? I can't, just play it. Let's do something with this. Let's maybe do something with the density. Let's go to our mixer. So if let's save this now, and then we'll just go, we'll just overwrite it. We'll just go save. Actually, there's our samples that we put in there. Now, if you want to ever erase a preset, you can just use this button here and it'll ask you if you want to erase it. If you're wondering how to get rid of presets. You can load just the pattern or just the sounds, which is super handy and really cool, or you can just load the whole thing. Now you'll see this little button here. You can rename it there as well if you want to. This little button here, this applies to your presets. So you know, in all of the Audiomodern apps, you can set presets. If we go back here, we've just saved this, haven't we? We've saved it as the pool, which means that that's now remembered our pattern data as well. So if I go into, say, like a factory preset, we'll load up this one. Okay, and then I go to my user preset and do this. It's loaded up our pattern again as well. So your preset remembers. You can also, like I said, you can hit plus now, and this remembers that pattern as a preset. So let's randomize it, the whole thing. Oh, we've already just randomized this. So save that as number 2. Number 3. So we can record those at any time we like, right? What's cool here is that if we go back into here, you'll see that now this little button here is changed from 1, 2, and 3, and it's created another 3 user presets for us. So we can go at any time in the future, we can go in and choose these as a complete thing, or we can just take them off preset mode, and they're remembered as your they're never going to go away. So you can go in there and you can just go, well, okay, I need to rename that as, say, the pool 2 or something like that, and then that's done, and you can rename your others exactly the same way. Now here's the thing, we've got our and then the 3 different presets we've just created really quickly. Okay, here's the cool thing. These are our patterns, right? If we go into presets and pack, let's create a new pack. All right, so we're going to make a pack. A pack is something that you can share with other people. You can make your own packs and you could sell them if you're using your own samples and sounds and patterns and stuff like that. Here's the cool thing. Let's just do this, add this, and I'm just going to add this picture of me. and it creates a little thing, but there's nothing in there, right? It's empty. But you see, what we've done is we've created a new pack. Let's see if we can rename this pack. So I'll just call it Doug's First Pack. Call it whatever you want, you know what I mean? And then you've got a little description that you can put in here. I'm not going to bother doing that, but you can put a description there as well. Okay, so let's just presets and packs, and right, Doug's First Pack. I'm going to open packs up here. Gosh, why didn't I save my pack? I'll try again. I'm going to create new pack. Pack name. Oh right, okay. Well, I'll do picture first, and then pack name. Pack name is test pack. Oops, we'll just call it test. Mobile user, Doug, and then it should be saved. I'll save. No. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I've just weird. I saved it on mine. Oh, here it is. Test. So there it is. It's appeared now. So there you can either delete the pack, or now you can. Sorry for headbutting the camera as well. You can export it somewhere and share it with somebody else. Here's the cool thing. There's nothing in it. It's empty. If we go to user presets now, and I go, oh well, where's the pool? Grab hold of it and just drop it into test. Okay, and grab the pool too, drop that into test. Let's go to factory presets and grab this one and put that into test. When we look at the pack now in presets and packs, you'll see that those three presets I've just added are now in that pack, and then you can still, if you want to, you can just choose sounds if you want and drag them in and start again and create a completely new pack or preset that you can use. So it may seem, like I said, I'm nearly done now, guys. In fact, I pretty much am. You can MIDI learn everything as well. I've showed you the linear group. This is your MIDI CC mappings. You have MIDI learn as well here. I've pretty much showed you everything along the top. It's really cool. You just, like I said, you just don't. The sample edit's really great as well. And don't forget, if it's sort of lightly grayed out here, it means it needs a sound loading into the slot. You see those 3 slots are empty. You can randomize all, right? So if we play this here, you'll see it's playing. If we it's just going to randomize everything. And you can solo mute from there as well. You can also solo mute from the mixer. You can also, if we go back here, solo and mute from the main page along here. So if we So I think I pretty much covered everything there. Oh, one more important thing as well I forgot to explain is the export is outstanding. For whatever for whatever your track is or whatever, you can export the stems of the audio or the stems of the MIDI or all the stems, so basically a master mix, or all the stems for the MIDI, so everything will be put into that one kind of stem. But what I did earlier is I just did that and it just put the whole thing over Cubasis. It was pretty cool. So yeah, so you can export the stems wave or MIDI. It's entirely up to you. Don't forget you have a maximum of 32 steps or 16, and each individual step is controllable. So if we've just increased step 3. Very nice. I mean, the factory presets are brilliant, but I think you're going to have the most fun importing your own samples and making your own kits, and then kind of making your own packs and maybe sharing them with friends. I know, you know, soon you'll be able to go and get packs from the website from Audiomodern. I know that some people are working on packs for this at the moment. You can make your own. I think it's going to be a really good thing, you know. So yeah, it's completely different than Playbeat 2 and Playbeat 1 or Playbeat 2. It's totally different now. And don't forget that you can, the lock feature is great, because whatever you're on, you can lock just individual notes and stuff like that. And you saw when it works with disintegration mode, it's epic. So it's really cool. Don't forget also as well, the other cool stuff, like each sample has some basic editing, which is really handy. Each lane can be independently shuffled. It does so much cool stuff. It's pretty straightforward if you work your way along the top as well. Don't forget that this little button will randomize the steps or the groups that are active, or you know, the tracks that are there. This will randomize everything, but only momentarily. I will say, which is also very cool, that if you just want to, if you hold this momentarily and you like it, you can just add it as a preset, and when you let go, it'll revert, but that preset will still be there and will have remembered what you've already done. Awesome stuff. It's great. Right, guys, there was a lot to get through there. I hope I explained it as clear. I explained it as clearly as I could, but there was just loads to get through. So yeah, awesome. It's very, very good. It's very good indeed. The preset thing's good because you can go in here. Sorry, you can go in. Is it here? Where's my presets? Oh yeah. You can go in here and say for any of these factory presets or any of your own presets, you could go in there and go, well, I'm going to have that on preset 16 or 15, whatever it is. And then you go in and you'll see the preset 15. So the pattern, you know. So you can set up a bunch of presets for any of the packs that you want. Cool beans. Guys, bless you all. I'm going to run through a couple of these factory patches for you while you say ta-ra to each other for a few minutes. A lot to get through there in what is it, 50 minutes. So yeah, I hope that you kind of get it. It's marvelous. It's marvelous. It's a lovely thing. I liked the other Playbeat as well, but this is just a whole new level. You know, it's with everything that you get included. It's kind of cool beans. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Ta-ra. Should also say that it is a UV3 as well.